Right, today we return once more with our F222 Teo Porcher career mode. Yes, this weekend we're here in the Styrian Mountains for the Austrian Grand Prix. If you missed out last weekend's racing action, I would highly recommend going back and checking out. Silverstone and F2 cars are just always a legendary combo on F122 and to be honest, in previous F1 games as well. So yeah, I would highly recommend going back and checking those videos out. But today, yeah, we're over halfway through this championship now, round 8 of 14. Felipe Drugovich still leads the way, 26 points clear of myself at the top of the championship. After a rough British weekend for ourselves, we come to Austria, you know, we're pretty strong, pretty confident still with ourselves, but we've got to really start taking some points out of Drugovich. We can't let him do what he did in real life and just start pulling away points over the course of the season there. Jem Bolakbassi still 16 ahead of Jack Doohan and J.R. Marugla there, but Austrian Grand Prix, of course, qualifying sprint race today, feature race tomorrow. I just want to dive into this, but before we do that, I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you as well for the continued support. We're getting very, very close now to 4,000 subscribers. 100k is not that far away, so if you're watching this and you haven't clicked that big red button, please consider clicking it down below as well. It would really help us out. It's going to be tight, 100k by the end of the year, but hopefully you guys will help us just get one step closer. And let's get into it though, Austrian Grand Prix time. Right, here we are then, back at the Austrian Grand Prix. The hills should be alive with the sound of Mechachrome engines this weekend. Fingers crossed they're not Mechachrome engines that are breaking down or exploding constantly, but you never know what might happen in the world of Formula 2. They're just trying to make sure we get the setup where I want it. Of course, normally I run a pretty samey setup most weeks in this series, just with changes to the front wing, but we took our first pole position of the year last weekend. Can we try and get it this weekend as well then, and keep closing up points on Felipe? Final corner up towards the line then. It's only going to be P4. We'll absolutely take that. It became very, very clear on that lap. I'm running a lot more wing than the other cars around us. Lost loads in Sector 1 and gained it all back in Sector 2 and 3.
So qualifying is complete and we're all set for an exciting race tomorrow. Your top three are Doohan, Drugovich and Yuri Vips. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the feature race tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
I'd absolutely love to see that Fred Vesti as well, nestled up inside the top 10, but 0.02 of a second covered myself, Hauger and Marcus Armstrong there. 0.674, 0.675, 0.676. Goes to show just how competitive Formula 2 really is. MP Motorsport there, second place for Felipe Drugovich. Clement Novalak, though, way down the order. Of course, we've got a big championship battle to try and close up to them in the Constructors, so fingers crossed Vesti can hang on as well. But let's get into it, though. Austrian Grand Prix sprint race. Fingers crossed it's going to be very, very fast, but hopefully we can try and gain some places.
It's race day here at Spielberg, and the drivers are making their final preparations down on the grid before lights out. Look around, it's a spectacular setting, and I'm sure today's race will do it justice. So Spielberg is one of the shortest laps on the F2 calendar, just 10 corners, 7 right and 3 left. Look out for the uphill braking zone into turn 3 that represents one of the better opportunities to overtake. Also turn 4 straight afterwards, and then the next one being all the way back round to turn 1. As usual, I'm joined by our good friend Davide Valsecchi as we soak up the dramatic scenery. Do you think the drama will continue on to the track today, Davide?
Ciao Alex, I think we can guarantee that. Austria has always been a track that encourages the driver to overtake and attack. But it's a low grip surface. The drivers out there today will have to make sure that the tiny mistakes don't end up hurting them later in the race.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Right, well, here we are then, trackside for the Austrian Grand Prix. 14 laps of sprint racing action ahead of us today. It's actually a longer sprint match. You know, all the F2 sprints are longer than their equivalent F1 sprint races in terms of laps. But, yeah, 14, probably some of the most laps we'll see on the calendar, of course, with the exception of Monaco. I'm going to bring down the front wing by 1 click. We definitely were losing quite a lot down the straights yesterday, and don't quite want it to be as bad today. You can only make up so many places through the corners. But starting P7, we're ahead of Drugovic, our big championship rival. Thought I got the anti-stall glitch, but yeah, we need to keep trying to take good, consistent points out of him. That's the goal. Just sort of 4-6 points here and there will make a big, big difference come the end of the year. We're heading back round to the start line. Luckily, we don't have to do any 360 spin antics in the Formula 2 cars. They're a little bit easier to launch than the F1s. I'm going to say that now and absolutely butcher my start, aren't I? But anyway, lining up then on the grid, pretty much perfect on the lineup.
Yeah, nice one. That's going to give you the edge if you can get good launch as the race starts.
Mark happy with it as well. We're waiting on our last couple of cars then to round up on the grid. Fingers crossed we can get a good start here for the sprint race. 14 laps ahead of us around this iconic Red Bull Ring circuit. Waiting on those 5 red lights. And it is going to be lights out, and away we go. And oh, both Dennis Hauger and I almost hitting the anti-stall there. We've got to dump the throttle as we head up the hill in towards turn 1. We've got someone on the inside there, but we'll find a way around Hauger through the through the first corner there, side by side with the Norwegian driver as we head up the hill on this opening lap there. You can see Sato Armstrong side by side just up in front. Are we going to be able to find anywhere around the outside? Marcus Armstrong parks it on the apex. Jan Aruvula, of course, this is Red Bull's home weekend, so I'm sure all the Red Bull back drivers will want to try and deliver a good result. And you can see as we head down the hill, not 100% sure who it is leading the way. I think it might be, must be Logan Sargent, isn't it? Of course, the Williams-backed driver there, who's actually streaking away into the distance quite nicely early on at the start here. I think Yuri Vips up in P2 there as Fred Vesti, of course, my teammate, up in P2. It's always difficult to try and work out which colour dots are who still in this series, but as we head down in towards the final sector of this opening lap, Yuri Vips, down in P8 just behind us. Of course, it looks like Drugovic hasn't got off to the best start either, so we tip our way through the final couple of corners there and to get used to the slightly lower front wing and of course heavy fuel, everything like that in the car. But a decent start for ourselves there. Logan Sargent though, absolutely clean away at the front of the field there. Couldn't really ask for a better start for himself. He'll want to try and break out the DRS as soon as possible here, but are we going to be able to apply some pressure on Marcus Armstrong as we head up the hill? This will probably be the first good test of what the straight line speed is like actually now in this ART Grand Prix car. And you see we're not really... Whoa! Armstrong, I've accidentally sent it on you there, mate, because you moved in the braking zone. I had to get off the brakes to make sure I could actually avoid you. No, you can't do that in any form of open-wheel motorsport. We're lucky the wheel-to-wheel contact isn't too extreme on F1, otherwise we could have gone over the top of him. Right, DRS now enabled then, and fingers crossed this time around we should be able to get a good run on Marcus Armstrong there, as we're clearly very quick around a lot of the lap, and Logan Sargent's still the one dictating the fastest laps at the moment there, as Armstrong won't have the DRS as we head up the hill. We are gaining. We're still not that aggressively on the high-tech car there. Again, we'll just be undecided on his line at the top of the hill there. Dennis Hauger looking to try and capitalise if possible, and now unfortunately Armstrong has picked up the DRS of Jan Aruvula in front of him. Must have only just managed that as we head back down the hill, down the other side. All Sato and Vesti contact up the road. I really want to see Fred Vesti get his elbows out here, because it has not been a particularly strong start to this year for our teammate, but Sato now looking at the inside, and all this does is helps Logan Sargent's lead, obviously, at the front of the field open up there. So you can just see as we head down through this middle sector, the Carlin driver streaking away into the distance. He's basically checked out early on in this sprint race there, and I'm sure he could quite happily take the 10 points away. Super competitive, of course, between behind myself and Felipe Drugovich in the championship. Basically anyone could still finish P3 overall in this title fight there. It was only a 10th away from Sargent that time round, but we've got to try and get a run on. Whoa, Armstrong was almost into the back of the high-tech in towards turn 1. That's going to leave me compromised on the exit. Will Dennis Hauger be able to get a bit closer as they're still duking it out up the road? We came from Silverstone with some fantastic battling. Look at this, 3 wide between the AIs. We head up the hill there. Can Jay and the Ruvula pull off a cheeky double overtake? There's contact everywhere. Don't know idea what Marcus Armstrong's doing. Sat there on the apex. We've got yellow flags out. Someone else has gone off the road. There's here comes Yuri Vips out of nowhere. It's all kicking off in this sprint race. Everyone trying to gain places there. We're not going to let Vips get away with that one too easily, as Daruvula and Sato still side by side. Fred Vesti's now got a bit of a breakaway, and that all just got a bit dramatic for a second there, but we've all kind of survived by the looks of it. Dennis Hauger now back ahead of Yuri Vips once more there, as he's trying to have a look around the outside down the hill there, and fair play Dennis Hauger. Fantastic little move. I mean, it's still only Saturday morning here from the Styrian Mountains, but already the action is coming thick and fast in Formula 2 there, as Marcus Armstrong just losing touch slightly with Sato and Daruvula there. Big wobble through turn 1. You know what? We'll say thank you very much there, Marcus Armstrong. It's been a valiant defensive effort up to now, but as we start lap 6, the Grand Prix, we will finally get a jump on the young Kiwi. He's going to try and come back at the up towards the top of the hill, leaving room on the apex. Can we try and put the power down on the outside though? It's a bit of a flatter run off the corner, but sadly he's going to have the DRS as we head down the hill. They were both going to try and jockey for track space there, as we'll try and force him defensive as possible. And again, we'll go 2 in 1 lap then. Another cheeky switchback on Marcus Armstrong, and now hopefully this one's going to be a done deal. Let's push on up towards Daruvula and Sato and see if a podium is still doable. The problem we face at the moment, there's 6 laps to go of this sprint race, is that Sato and Daruvula are just getting carried along in the DRS behind Fred Vesti, so we've got to try and go quicker than our teammate at this stage of the day, but we're also dragging a handful of cars behind us there, as here comes Sato then to the outside of Fred Vesti once more in this sprint race. And will Fred Vesti just be able to try and hang on? Come on, teammate, do us a favour here, hold these guys up as best as possible there, as Sato, I think, might, yeah, though Sato's pulled off the move, so GG's Fred. Back down the other side of the hill there, and Fred Vesti's lost both places. I'm not saying he's been a bad teammate this year, but he hasn't been particularly useful up to this point. However, now, because he's dropped in behind them, we might start getting some DRS, so maybe it's not all over. Starting lap 10, we have now got some DRS off of this train of cars in front of us. There's still the option for P2 in this race. I mean, Logan Sargent, he has absolutely just set sail into the distance this afternoon. You can't fault him, he's made no errors, but it also has absolutely fallen into his lap so far. I don't want to crash with my teammate. Fred Vesti locks up at the top of the hill as well. We just can't put the power down on the exit of the corner there.
Concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
Team not worried about tyres, which is always reassuring as well. But yeah, Vesti just losing ground to Daruvula and Sato. We need to get round him, but we need to make sure we do it in a way that's effective and neither of us lose time. The problem we face now with 3 laps to go is Fred Vesti is absolutely losing me time. There you can see Daruvula and Sato making big gains. Vesti a big lock up at the top of the hill. It's almost like he knew what was going to happen. And now Daruvula has just tripped over the outside curbing as well, so we might be able to get 2 for the price of 1 as we head back down the other side there. Sato trying to break free late on in the afternoon. And look at this for late braking manoeuvres. That one was a bit more aggressive. Definitely didn't get anywhere near the apex there. And Daruvula is going to come straight back at me then off of the turn. But yeah, Sato now might just get the golden ticket to try and run away as well there. Just to maybe get the runner-up prize to Logan Sargent this afternoon. But we need to try and get past Jayan once more there, as you can see. Big wobble off the corner. He's currently the highest ranked Red Bull Junior in this Grand Prix, but yeah, you can just see practically pushing him through the final couple of corners there. Don't believe our front wing could have got much closer to his diffuser without contact being made, but surely now we won't get a run down the start-finish straight, but we surely can get a run as we head back up in towards turn 2 there. Fred Vesti still just sat under my rear wing as well. Could he potentially be able to try and capitalise from this one as we head up the hill there? Jan Ruvula, surely he's going to try and sit defensive as we head up the hill. Yuma Owasa out of nowhere sets new fastest lap of the day. We're only a tenth of the way from that as Jan Ruvula, we're going to try and pinch him to the apex and clean around the outside will go. We've got yellow flags out though. Someone towards the rear of the field is going slowly. No idea. I think it's one of the Campos cars. It might actually be one of the Dams cars. Perhaps it's Roy Nassani that's out of this race, of course, confirmed to be back in Formula 2 in 2023. It is Roy Nassani. Oh no. Anyway, let's carry on and try to close up to Marino Sato, sorry. Well, about to start the last lap then of this sprint race. And oh, there we go, new fastest lap of the day. As we take the bonus points if we can. But yeah, Sato, I think, whoa. Whoa! That's a way to start the last lap. They're full opposite lock on the exit of turn 1. And that's going to leave me under pressure from Jayanda Ruvula as we head back up the hill then. Here comes Jayanda Ruvula as we get up towards turn 3. Will the Indian driver be able to pull it off there? I ran way too deep into the corner and we might bottle this on the final lap of the race there. Ruvula's going to once again get the DRS off the turn, and I was just about to say how Sato might have looked after his tyres a little bit better than myself, but we might be throwing away a podium and some silverware at the end of this one as we try and head back down the hill. We've got our teammate Fred Vesti still all over our gearbox, and I thought all of these cars battling so hard throughout the entirety of this thing gave me a bit of a tyre advantage, but apparently not. We've just made a critical error late on in the day, unless we can get close enough to Jayanda Ruvula once more there. He's been weak off the exit of Sector 2 there all day long, and we're going to be right underneath him as we get in towards the final couple of corners of this sprint race. They're practically pushing him through the penultimate turn there. Logan Sargent is going to take the victory, but we have bottled it on the final lap. It's only P4.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
So another fantastic victory for Carlin today. Davide, what do you think made the difference here?
I think they kept a cool head. That's why they won today. Smooth, steady, everything bad that happened to them, they handled it calmly and professionally. That's what let them focus on getting the best out of everything else. The car, the strategy, they managed to keep out of trouble the whole way around.
As we can see, it's time for the podium, and I can see the Carlin team underneath our commentary box going crazy as their driver walks out. It was a great win, and it means a great deal to this team. And now, let's take a look at the driver's standings. It was not the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. Now then, Davide Valsecchi, who would you say was your driver of the day?
My driver of the day was Teo Pourchaire. He did a cracking job moving through the field. Just a very good race.
On to the teams then. It was a tough race for our championship leaders, who lose ground at the top of the table. Meanwhile, Carlin moved up the table with another strong performance this weekend. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
Well, there we are then, the end of the F2 sprint race here from Austria. And Logan Sargent, the American boy, will take home the race victory there. 10 points for him and Carlin. Very, very important as they try and fight their way up the championship rostrum then. Sato, a very, very good P2 ahead of Jayanda Ruvula. Teo Pourchaire, Fred Vesti, Armstrong, Hauger and Yuri Vips will round out our top 10 there. And another fastest lap bonus point as, yeah, Felipe Drugovich a bit quiet there in the sprint race today ahead of Jack Doohan and Callan Williams. Clement Novalak did progress up to P12. You can see ahead of Ollie Caldwell and Jem Bollock-Bassian. Yes, it was, Anne-Marie Cordeal as well late on in the day. somehow set a 53-second lap time. Thank Lord that the F2 bonus point is awarded for whoever did the fastest lap inside the top 10. Obviously, otherwise, no, Iwasa wouldn't have taken it in the end, would he? But championship-wise, though, it does mean the gap at the top's come down to 20 points between myself and Drugovic. Their Gem's still in P3, but Jay and Daruvula, the ever-consistent Jay and Daruvula, now up into 4th ahead of Jack Doohan. Sargent as well leapfrogs his way into 6th place, now ahead of Hauger and Iwasa. Sato jumps for Shaw, Armstrong jumps Novalak as well, and then no other movers down the rest of the field there. Teams-wise, 30 points now, the gap between ourselves and MP Motorsport. Fingers crossed we can continue to bring that gap down over the rest of the weekend. Carlin, though, the only team to progress as they re-jump High-Tech. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and we will be back tomorrow ready for this feature race. You guys do not want to miss that. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.